Hey guys, welcome to thirdsister.com. I'm Ripon Dutta. Today I am going to discuss about C Sharp aesthetic behavior. So, what is aesthetic in C Sharp? In C Sharp, aesthetic is a keyword. Aesthetic modifier is mostly used with classes, methods, and properties. Our aesthetic class, method, or field has only one copy in memory throughout the application lifecycle. So aesthetic field can be accessed by class name and no need to create an instance of class. Why there is no need to access aesthetic field with class object? Because aesthetic fields are initialized even before the class constructor, so there is no need to access them by an object. Rather use class name dot field name. The reason is that aesthetic fields are initialized when class loads, so they are already initialized. Aesthetic modifier with method of a class. In C Sharp, if a method is aesthetic, then it can access only aesthetic members and fields of a class. This method can be accessed by class name. There is not necessary to create an instance in order to access aesthetic method. Aesthetic field has only one copy in memory. In the same way, aesthetic method also has one copy in the memory. So overloading is possible in aesthetic methods but not overriding because they belong to class rather than class objects. Aesthetic modifier with a class. As a aesthetic class cannot contain any constructor, so you cannot create an instance of a aesthetic class and it can only consist of aesthetic members, that is aesthetic methods and fields. Now let's get started with Visual Studio. So file menu, new, project, console application, application name, static behavior. So first create a class counter public static int number of instances equal 0, public counter, this is basically a constructor. So in the constructor, this is a constructor, and or we can use in this case class equal 1, then public void print console write line okay. Now make a public static void main method. So in the main method we can create an instance counter instance 1 equal new counter, second instance 2 equal new counter. Now we can print. So instance 2 dot print. Now you can see control F5 2. Why? Because First time whenever instance 1 is created, in that time the counter constructor increase the number of instances value, which is 1. And second time for the instance 2, it is created again the counter constructor method. So in this case this field is increased by 1 second time. As it is a static field, so this counter class must have one copy of the number of instance in a memory. That means this field can only have one times in the memory. So we can debug this method or program. F11, it comes here in the counter number of instance, that is 1. For the second time, no, it is still 1. You can see this is still 1. Why? Because this is a static field. And for the second time, it again increase by 1. Now if you print, you are getting the value of 2. That's it. So now I like to add a static method, which is the print method, static method. So in this case it gives an error because you will see cannot be accessed with an instance reference. So it can be only accessed with class name. That's it. Because this print method or this class don't need to be this method don't need to be initialized, or even in this case you can run and you're getting the same value 2. So now I want to make a static class. So in this case these two lines gives error. What is this? Cannot create an instance of the static class. So you cannot create any instance of a static class. So this is the way, and it will also give an error because a static class cannot have any constructor. You can see giving you error. A static class cannot have instance constructor. Alright, so how can we increase? For example, we can use static void increase. So number of instance. Alright, so now we can counter increase by 10. Now if you run, you'll get 10, and if you increase by 20, you will get 30. That's it. Or you can debug this application by press F11. F11 increase, it is still now 0, then n is added with this variable which is 10. Second time it is increased by 20. So 10 plus 20, that means 30. Now is printed just the value. That's it. Or if you make a simple class which is, for example, triangle, double, and you must need a constructor or default constructor. The constructor you can pass value. Okay, or you can use public return type area height into width. So if you declare this class, you must have to be used new operator. I mean, you must have to use, or you must have to be initialized this class, because this is not a static class. So now it's okay, because this class is not a static class. So you must have to be initialized this class before using this. Now you can use the class anytime. There is no error. Without initialized, you cannot use any method or member of a normal class. So this is the difference between a normal class and a static class. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial. If you like this tutorial, please don't forget to subscribe this channel and make a positive comment in the comment box. So thank you.